According to Wallace, a multicultural education is the infusion of varying cultural viewpoints, ideas, and perspective into the curriculum and learning environment. That's where we get the term multiculturalism. Teachers would incorporate cultural experience in the curriculum that helps students be familiar with different cultures around the world. However, diverse students feel unwelcome and neglected by the majority of the students and feel the need to conform to their standards and regulation. According to Salter, multiculturalism should be an awareness of other cultures do exist, have a right to exist, and do not have to conform to ours to be acceptable. So how do we teach diversity in the classroom? As a Christian educator, I must address multiculturalism through culture awareness, culture sensitivity, and educate students about diversity. First, as a teacher, I must educate myself about the different cultures in order to implement unity in the classroom. According to the United States of America article, Hispanics, also known as Latinos, make up 17% of the population in the United States. They are the fast-growing minority group, and they recently became the country's largest ethnic minority. It is important for teachers to be knowledgeable because the percent of minorities are growing, and we must be preparing to make accommodations for lesson planning. Each student is different and unique in his or her own way. As a teacher, we must use their uniqueness and their different strengths to work through their weak parts in their academics because their intelligence are not fixed. It is important for teachers to bring unity in the classroom without discrimination of race, ethnics, or background. Next, as a Christian educator, I must be sensitive towards diverse students because students learn best when they feel safe and secure in their learning environment. 10 years ago, my family and I immigrated from the Philippines to America. It was a really big change for me as an 8-year-old because I had to learn to assimilate and to American culture. I remember as a little girl, I was very confused of American culture and how they communicate to one another. And since I didn't know English, I was sent to an ESL class to learn to communicate in English and to write and read in English. However, due to my language barrier, I always felt timid and insecure in my classroom because I didn't know how to talk to anyone or knew English well enough. However, my teacher asked me to present my culture to the classroom during Culture Week. I brought in my Filipino flag, my Filipino food, and pictures from the Philippines, of mountains and the forest and the village I grew up in, and also brought in Filipino food to show to my class. This event made me feel more welcome and secure because my classmates finally understood me as well as my teacher. I also started to participate more in classroom activities and also classroom discussions. According to Teaching for Diversity, a Guide to a Greater Understanding, the teacher is a leader who sets the tone and direction of the classroom activity. It is important for teachers to be sensitive towards diverse students because it will build trust within the students. And once the students feel secure in the classroom, in the learning environment, it will encourage them to participate. Last, as a teacher, we must educate students about diversity. Students learn through social interaction. According to Banks and Banks, the school's culture and social structures are powerful determinants of how students learn to perceive themselves. These factors influence the social interaction. Educating students about diversity will encourage classroom discussion and participation in the learning environment. It also reduces prejudice and discrimination in the classroom. Further, learning about diversity will broaden the students' knowledge about the world around them. According to Teaching for Diversity, a guide for a greater understanding, students should be provided opportunities to read of many cultures rather than restricted to narrowly on any given culture. Students will gain a better understanding of culture and be aware and also be sensitive that will produce a cooperative learning environment between diverse students. Finally, it is important for Christian education to lay a biblical foundation where Christ is the center. According to Salter, Christ-centered disposition produces faith, freedom, and citizenship that will lead students to be successful. I believe that faith, freedom, and citizenship should be the pillars of a multicultural curriculum because all students are center of the learning process. Red, yellow, black, and white, they are all precious at His sight.